I just want to give you guys a big welcome to the ADMW. This is a match between Bigl16 and Drefan, and this is from Group A. And so far, in all the games, Big L, this is his second game he's playing, and he lost his first game, and he's against Drefan, who's currently leading the group with 2 wins. And so this is a pretty big game that sort of can decide a lot of stuff. And Drefan, Drefan is really known for his longer gameplay and his ability to really use a strategy and sort of keep it all cohesive, and it can really trip up certain players that maybe aren't able to identify the strategy, or maybe can tell, but it's done so well that they can't stop it. So it looks like Big L and Drefan, they're both going to be playing the Adrenaline Warlock. That is going to be an awesome match. There's going to be a lot of fire going down in this. That's pretty exciting, actually. They can both do the fire waving. So if they decide to burn each other, they can just keep passing it to each other. Like, here's your burn, and here's your burn. The smoldering gross is going to be a big deal. Things like reverse attacks, stuff like that, always become stronger because the burn is still going to happen. And demonic ward, of course, still going to be good. This match, I don't know if I've ever actually seen a Adrenaline versus a Adrenaline match. And Big L is opening, this is not going to end well. And looks like with Big L, he's going to have 64 cards in his book, while Drefan is going to have 59. An interesting difference of cards. Of course, Drefan did have 2 cards, so he's at 61 total. It's just an interesting sort of thing. And it looks like Drefan did win initiative, and he did choose for Bigl16 to go first. I wonder if that has a specific plan for that sort of thing, or what. And I think it's going to be a really interesting game to see it play out. And we're moving on to the actual main phase of the game. Looks like their planning is done. And, some proper openings that I've seen with Dromelic is usually Mana Crystal Battleforge. You'll sometimes see Pentagram. It's very rare. Sometimes you see, just a Mana Crystal, then a creature turn 2. There's a few different staple openings that usually happen, and I'm curious to see what these two are going to bring. I've actually never seen Drefan play any sort of Dromelic, so it should be interesting. And Big L, I don't know any of his playstyles. This will be a learning experience for me too. And it looks like Bigl16 opening with the Mana Crystal Flaming Hellion. Interesting choice to go with a creature first. Not going with that economy. That speaks that he's going to do more of a faster play. And Drefan doing the double Mana Crystal opening, putting him up to channel 11. That's going to be... he's hiding his play, essentially. Whereas Bigl16, he's played that big creature. And so he has a little bit more commitment. He still has, 11 mana, so he can still do a lot of stuff. But this is at least definitely a big strategy that you can see is going to happen, is I'm going to use a fire creature. Drefan, on the other hand, has 11 channel now. He starts out at 20 mana, so he's a little bit more than what he started out with. And he could be literally doing anything. And this is a really smart play by Drefan, because now that he sees a creature out, he can think, what am I going to do to counter this creature? And, simple things such as a Dragon Scale Hybrid kind of just really nerfs the the ability for the Flaming Hellion to actually do any damage. Just because that Flame -2 with the Armor 2 is very nice. I'm curious to see how Big L wants to pull this sort of timing off, because the clock is set a little bit faster just because Drefan is just going to be gaining an extra channel per turn. And that's, it may not sound like a lot, but when you're dealing with like 10 rounds in a game, I'd say about on average, that can sort of add up to be some decent stuff. And looks like we're moving on to first quick cast. Initiative is yellow. Should I be red? Yeah, it looks like the initiative marker didn't flip during the channeling or the reset phase, so it just happens sometimes. And of course, Drefan, since he did choose initiative, he knows he's going turn second. I wonder if that speaks to he actually does have a timing he's trying to hit. It would be interesting actually to find out which one it was. And looks like Bigl16 is going to use his quick cast, whereas Drefan did pass on it. Looks like it's going to be an enchantment of some sort. Yep, he's going to cast that enchantment. That could be a lot of things. It's really hard actually to tell what it is at this point. But looks like Drefan is going to be forced to use his action first. Curious to see what he's going to do. Okay. So he's going with the Vampirus. Very classic at dealing with these higher level creatures. You know, the innate ability of Vampiric with 5 dice is very powerful. And if you choose, since it is living, to give it like Bear Strength or Lion Savagery, that Vampiric ability can actually add up very quickly. And the Flaming Hellion is just going to move to the right and guard. This is sort of a weird standoff situation we're in right now. And looks like another enchantment's going to go on this Hellion. So this is going to be some sort of like a buddy build Hellion timing push. And Drefan has 4 mana left. He is going to enchant this Vampirus. This could be a lot of things. It's probably, I'm guessing, a Bear Strength. I guess it could be like a Rhino Hide or something crazy like that. But it's probably used more for the Vampiric healing rather than a defensive purpose. Akira's Favorite is also a pretty awesome spell. And it looks like we're going to move on to the 3rd round here. And both players have a lot of work to do. This is the one advantage of playing the Adramalik Warlock is because of the Smoldering Curses ability. It gives Flame +1. If we see a Marked for Death go down, that actually buffs up things like Flame Blast a dramatic amount. Getting 2 extra dice, you can combo that with like a Hawkeye and Fire Shaper Ring, and you can really start buffing up those attack dice to be very strong. Unfortunately, it's not going to work against the Flaming Hellion because it has Flame Immunity. So that kind of gives Drefan a small, or not even so small, that gives him a disadvantage. In that the natural abilities of the Adramalik Warlock are just going to work better. That being said, you can always just do a ton of damage and kind of focus the mage down with the Adramalik. It looks like we're moving on to the first quick cast. And Bigl is going to pass on. I'm curious to see. Drefan will probably pass. Yep. Moving on to action phases here. This game might actually be very quick. 2 bursty mages tend to do that sort of thing. And looks like he is going to play a Zone Enchantment. Or some sort of Conjuration, maybe. Okay. So he's going to play a Conjuration, I'm sorry, a Zone Enchantment here, and this could be, oh, he's going to play 2 Zone Enchantments. Daring Bigl16. So these could both be traps. They could be decoys. They could be a lot of stuff. Hellfire Trap is what Drefan is saying, or Decoy Heaven. This is sort of one of those like, I'm gonna get you some way. The thing about traps is Drefan doesn't actually need to engage in this. He is perfectly safe just kind of walking away. But he is going to move his Adramalik in there. Daring, and it is a Hellfire Trap, so he's going to hit by, 4 dice, maybe a burn. Interesting, I'm kind of curious why he chose to just walk into that instead of just kind of walking away. But he must have some sort of specific timing that he wants to hit. And I love the idea of traps. See, it feels very D&D-esque. So he's going to roll 4 dice. He's going to get, what is that, 3 damage? 3 damage off that. But does he get a burn? And if he does, it's going to be the hot potato fire weaving. Just passing those burns. Passing them along. And it looks like he is going to get a burn. And 3 damage through. Pretty solid. You know, for 4 mana, that's actually worth it. Granted, if these are both Hellfire traps, I'm not so sure. And he's going to curse the Flaming Hellion now. Oh my. This could be a Deathlink. And the reason why I say that is because since he's invested in 2 enchantments already, that's... oh, of course he could just be decoy. But since he's invested in 2 enchantments already, it sort of says, are you going to keep this guy alive? I might as well have him heal me up. And this first one is probably a weak curse, and the second one is probably the main curse. And this is where if you had a Seeking Dispel, you should immediately do that second one because it's probably that good spell. And the Vampirist is probably just going to, like, you know, go here and guard, I'm guessing. I don't see this guy advancing forward. The Hellion, however, yep, is going to move forward. And it's going to be Drefan's initiative next round, so he's going to have a slight advantage towards killing the buddy over Bigl. And he's going to move twice. Okay. And interesting choice to move twice, because you can kind of accomplish the same thing by staying in this zone. But I guess it adds a little bit of thing. And that's the end of the round. We move on to round 4 now. And looks like that burn is going to deal 1 damage to Drefan. You know, burns are a very good way to just deal that damage over time. You know, since they're so unpredictable, you don't want to rely on them to win you games. But when you play a burning mage, you just kind of hope to get a little bit lucky, because, you know, statistically the burns will stay on most of the time, because there's a 2/3 chance of actually rolling damage. But it always feels good to see when, like, a burn does 3 or 4 damage before getting removed. And we're just going to wait out this playing phase, see what happens here. Alright, both of them seem to plan pretty quickly. And, you know, we're engaging this in turn 4. And engagement in turn 4 is kind of the quicker end, but a pretty normal timing. Since none of them have any sort of spawn points, we're seeing both of these mages have a ton of mana. And we're about to see exactly what they're going to do with that mana. That's going to really dictate what happens in this game. And another curse getting put on this Hellion. This Hellion is just a whirling ball of magic right now. And going to the action phase here. And Drefan, I'm sure, is thinking exactly what he wants to do, because this is not an easy choice. If he makes... Oh! Drefan bringing out the Battle Forge. Interesting choice doing that so late in the game. I guess what he wanted to do is he wanted to wait. Maybe he was afraid of where to engage exactly, and that's why he didn't bring it out immediately. And he's going to move the left one. This is him getting safe. And the Wall of Fire coming down on a Bigl16. Wow. Okay, he really... Oh. Wall of Fire. Are we going to see a Force Push here? We are going to see a Force Push go down. Just getting relentless with these attacks. And Wall of Fire, of course, you know, you're going to pay 6 mana, but you get a 5 dice 5-up burn? That's like a very cheap attack spell. Of course, he's going to roll 2 damage and get no burns, so it's a little unfortunate there, but I do like the play a lot. And the fact that you can kind of reuse this a lot, it favors using cards like Jetstream, you know, the things that you can get free pushes and damage along with it more, but this is a fine play. Vampirus going after the Hellion. Ooh, that is a little bit risky because he has a guard on him. I'm curious to see what cards he has on him to sort of mitigate the counterattack and then the other attack as well. And it says he's going to use the Fangs, and I'm guessing there's a prompt coming up, and that's why we're not seeing the roll happen faster. By the way, Biblo, if you're watching, how you doing, man? I was very impressed by your game the other day, and I wish we had more of your games that were being recorded here. And so, anyway, since it's going to be Big L's initiative, he can do another Force Push and just get another Wall of Fire attack. And it's a nice little thing. I'm not actually sure if I would have pushed him through this round. And the reason why is because this Wall of Fire actually blocks the line of sight. And so this Battle Forge would have actually done nothing next round. Which if you're trying to deal the damage, it's kind of a big deal. And it looks like, here we go, a Necron Vampirus is going to attack, is going to do 4 damage. In response, we see the Gator Toughness gets revealed. And that brings up to 1 armor and 11 life, which is actually, you know, pretty good for survivability. The Vampirus, of course, only gets 1 damage through because he's going to have 3 armor. And in response, he reveals a Hawkeye. You can't range attack him. This is kind of unfortunate for the Vampirus. So, the counterattack's going to happen. Any minute now. Oh no, it's not going to happen. We just have a block. Awesome. This is a very solid way, actually, to get rid of guards that are very powerful. Since they have to respawn, you can respawn with a you have to be blocked now. And I actually really like this method. Arguably, just becoming elusive is better because he could have just gone through a Flaming Hellion, assuming that's why he attacked. I don't know if Drefan's trying to kill the Hellion or not. But, man, so I wonder what these 3 cards are if he didn't reveal anything here. I was guessing one of them would be marked for death, but then again, Drefan, oh, he has 8 mana. That's a lot. It was blocked. So we're going to see the the range attack here. It's going to deal 4 dice. Have a 5-up burn. I would love to see a curse on this guy. If we had any curse, this Wall of Fire would be dealing 6 dice. He'd be dealing 5 dice because of the Hawkeye. I would love just any curse, even like a, you know, even like a what is it? Jeez, what is that one spell that's useless against mages, but you can do it? Yeah, I'll figure it out in a second. But anyway, so Drefan reveals an Agony, which means that the Flaming Hellion's going to roll 2 less dice, so he only rolls 2. But it does get 3 damage. No burn, but, you know, it's alright. Oh yeah, maim wings. It's totally useless to put on a mage, but you could theoretically put it on a mage and get the Smoldering Curses bonus. Alright, and we're moving to the next round. A common mistake for the Adramlik is that, in my opinion, oh wow. So the Deathlink gets revealed. He is going to heal 2 damage and put 2 onto the Flaming Hellion. That's a lot of curses on this buddy, but, you know, it kind of was well-founded. Gator Toughness needs to be countered, and what better way than direct damage? So, here's kind of the situation right here. A lot of Adromalics, in my opinion, they make the mistake of not cursing the enemy, not thinking about how many things they're doing that's fire damage. That flame +1, we could have seen an extra die here, an extra die there, and it only seems like 2 now, but it's going to turn to 3 in a second, and then it's going to turn to more as this game progresses until this guy gets a curse. I really think that the main ability for the Adrenalic Warlock, and one of the reasons why I choose her, is that Smoldering Curses. It's literally like a win condition kind of thing. And that's just because there's so many ways to deal flame damage. So, this game, it's not really in anyone's favor necessarily. Drefan has the advantage in economy because he has the extra action and 2 extra channel if you count the Battle Forge. And you're seeing that this Hellion is kind of being countered. Of course, that could be anything as we go along. Whereas the Necropian Vampirus is just not being countered. Kind of can do whatever she wants. So we're going to deployment phase. He is going to get a Dragon Scale Hoblet. This is probably the most used armor in the game right now. Just because Flame is probably the most powerful attack spells that are used. And, oh, interesting. So, Bigl is going to cast another Wall of Fire. This time blocking off the vision from Drefan to Bigl. I wonder what he wants to do with this. Is he going to push the Vampirus through, I wonder? Kind of funny that it's possible, actually, for Drefan to just literally walk through this. And, and he would actually take, 3 dice, and, I mean, it wouldn't be worth it, but 3 dice and he'd still have that, immunity. Okay, but he's going to force push this Vampirus down through the wall. Or to the left? No, through the wall. He paid 6. And so we're going to see a 5 dice guy go in this. It's hard to kill the Vampirus. Of course, when you roll 5 dice and roll 9 damage, it gets a lot easier. That's going to be hard to recover from, but she can do it. 2 or 3 damage at a time, probably each round. But we're seeing Drefan start to take a lot of damage, whereas, he has the longer game against Bigl, but this is the window that he really needs to play in. And as soon as these walls aren't a factor anymore, and as we see Drefan just kind of literally moving away from the walls, I wonder if that's going to sort of affect what's going on economy-wise here. Because literally he can just kind of pick up and move away and still live through a lot. I'll be right back, guys. Sorry guys, I was just in the middle of a call there. Okay, so we saw the Bear Strength get revealed on the the Vampirus, which is probably one of the best moves you can do. And this wall, of course, she just flew over because you can do that with her. And had an amazing hit, dealing a ton of damage out. Very impressive hit, and just sort of healing it, just 5 damage. That's pretty amazing. And of course, this Flaming Hellion guarded, so because of the initiative, it kind of didn't work out for him. I'm curious to see what's going to happen now, because Drefan just took a major lead in this game, and and Bigl really needs to figure out how he's going to deal with the Vampirus, because she's not exactly a slouch. She's kind of one of those unique dark creatures that doesn't really belong to any mage. She just kind of is a creature, you know, unto herself. And because she's living, she has all these buffs that aren't really appropriate from the dark school. So you want to go out of school when you see her. And it's just kind of a weird circumstance with her. You know, you can't make her the like a dark, like any sort of like a demon stuff, because she's none of that. I don't know, it's just a really weird, interesting play, and weird from Drefan, and I really like how he's working this. This Hellion has a lot of potential. There is a clock because of Deathlink, and he's going to have to pull something out that's going to be useful. Personally, I would love to see a Mark for Death go on the Vampirus, and then the Flaming Hellion go in, you know, deal an extra, what would that be, 6 dice? And then also do a Flame Blast for another large amount. I think that would be a solid way just to start dealing damage to this and sort of making sure that goes out. We're moving into deployment here, and it looks like Drefan's going to reveal a Ring of Curses. Well, I mean, I guess that makes a lot of sense. Drefan is in a position where he could just start cursing things to win the game. I don't really see him getting... I mean, I guess I could see him getting aggressive right now, but he needs to lay on the curses onto this this Lady Lock here in order to really deal the damage. And, ooh, on a first quick guess, it is Drefan's initiative, so he has a big advantage over something to do here. He is going to curse the Lady Lock from Bigl and reveal a Mage Bane. Awesome little curse here. It very rarely doesn't pay for itself, especially because of Dispel costing 5, and usually 2 spell points versus 1. But this also gives the added benefit of not only the damage per cast, but also dealing a Flame +1 trait. So suddenly fireballs and all that stuff become that much stronger. I wouldn't mind seeing actually a force push down just to take advantage of the Smoldering Curses, and then seeing this Lady Lock or this Vampirus fly over and deal damage that way. And looks like he's going to... Nope, he's going to target the Agony. And looks like he's going to pay 5 mana. And get rid of that Agony. That does, you know, it adds 2 dice, so it's kind of like thinking about it as like, I'm going to put a Bear Strength on something, except I'm adding the dice I would have normally gotten. It's a good idea to do that. And let's not forget about Mage Bane. And maybe Mage Bane is going to go down. That's the thing about Mage Bane. I mean, it kind of doesn't sound scary the way it's worded, but it basically says all spells cost 1 damage in addition to the mana cost, is kind of the way I look at it, which gets very scary. And we're going to see Drefan enchant the Vampirus. That could be a lot of things, especially since Academy is out. Wolf Fury is a classic thing. It could just be like Gator Toughness or something. And looks like this Hellion is going to attack the Vampirus. Get 4 critical and a burn. That's pretty solid. Vampirus in retaliation is just going to punch the Lady Lock. And you know, with 7 dice, you can kind of survive forever. Deals 6 damage, so he's going to heal 3, putting her down to 3 as well. Total damage. This is a this is why the Vampirus is scary. Is because he can just hurl tons of damage and nothing happens. And Bigl is going to retreat. This makes me wonder if this is actually a Hellfire or not. I think it is, because it seems like he really wants to bait him in there. And, okay, so a Curse attempts to go down on this Vampirus, but a Nullify ends up taking it out. Oh, jeez, and looks like that Nullify took out a Ghoul Rot. Brutal. Losing a Ghoul Rot is never a fun situation. You know, you usually put 2, maybe 3 in your book, but but you know, when you only put 2 max, like I never put more than 2, but when you only put 2 in your book, it's just like I lost it. And so this Mage Band has already done 2 damage. Just sort of making that clock, and you know, I was kind of surprised even when I looked, but Big L's at 18 damage now. And this is a really scary range to be in. The Vampirus, of course, takes no damage from the burn gets removed. 18 damage is when you have to really start worrying about being bursted down. You know, a Fireball and a Vampirus hit can deal massive amounts. And just sort of make it look like you're going to die very quickly. And with Drefan's initiative being next round, he has to just think, alright, let me just deal as much damage as possible right now, and if he didn't prep the right defenses, I will win during first quick cast next round. Because 18, I don't think he's going to actually win this round, but definitely next round he could just do a level 2 attack spell and just focus this Adrenaline down. And move on to planning phases. And what I'd like to see out of this Battleforge is I would like to see a Fire Shaper ring. I think that would be the best choice because he's going to get the most damage out of it. With no armor on Big L, that creates just like, basically it just screams like, damage me now, kind of thing. Interesting enough, I wonder if there's any circumstance where we could have seen the Fire Weaving go from the Vampirus to the Warlock for Big L. I don't know, I didn't catch it to see if he could, but Fire Weaving is probably one of those like most forgotten abilities in the game. Just because like it's something you really actively have to think about. And Drefan, he's taking a little bit of time to plan more cards. He has something on the Battleforge. He could theoretically Fireball and Flame Blast this turn and just sort of win the game. I don't think that would be a bad choice if he chose to do that. But if I remember right, let's see, 8 and Flame Blast is 5. That means I don't think he could actually cast anything out of that Battleforge and pull that off. Because the Fire Shaper Ring, I believe, is 3, if I remember right. So, you know, it's kind of interesting to see what happens with this. So I guess ultimately nothing out of the Battleforge is the best choice. If he was going to choose something, I would probably do Fire Shaper Ring. Oh, but interesting, we have a Mage Wand come out. What does he want to do with the Mage Wand? It could be a Dissolve, I guess. It could be a Dispel. He might just be saying... he might just be saying, well, if you're going to armor up, because that's your best chance of surviving, then I'm just going to get rid of it right now. And Big L pulling out the other wall of fire. Awesome. This totally blocks line of sight. At least for the quick cast. If this is a force push, and he force pushed him down, I would laugh so hard. But of course, casting that wall of fire has a requirement of taking 1 damage. And I think, honestly, wall of fire, you know, it's not necessarily the play that's going to win you the game. And I think what we're seeing is like 21 mana is invested in these walls, and they haven't really stopped Drefan from dishing out the damage. They've dealt some damage, but Drefan recovered with it with a Deathlink. So I'm curious how to make this tactic work. Anyway, it is Dreyfan's initiative. Or I'm sorry, Big L's initiative, and he's going to move the right one, getting out of range of this Vampirus. Oh, and he's going to dispel the oh, he's going to fireball the Vampirus. There is no curse that's going to deal 6 damage, 6 dice. Standard burn. Okay. And interesting note, this is all of his mana. So he's got nothing for the rest of this round. That kind of leaves Drefan, who has 10 mana, to kind of feel out the situation here. Big L having some problems. So what you want to do is you want to shift drag to the target. He may be targeting the wrong thing or something, and then pay 0 mana because he already paid for the spell. That's what's going on in this. And looks like he's going to get a very nice roll, getting 5 critical and 2 normal off of 6 dice. And he does get a burn, which is good. And that's going to deal a lot of damage. And that sort of makes the Vampirus have to attack this Hellion this round. Just so that, of course, if this is a fire trap, then he could just die right there. And it looks like the Vampirus is going to retreat, saying, it's not worth dying. I'll just hide behind this cover of fire and just guard and wait for a better engagement point. I definitely agree with this move. He could have gotten hit by this trap, and it would have been ugly in 3 armor. You know, against 7 dice. You're not going to heal that much. And I think that was the right choice to do. Drefan doesn't need to win right now. He can play the longer game. This Vampirus can wait to engage properly. The Hellion is going to step through this wall of fire. Since he's immune, he's not going to take damage. And all the enchantments are slowly making its way over. And I'm guessing he's going to attack the Adrenaline. And it's going to be 4 dice. Dealing 3 damage. Not getting a burn, unfortunately, but... oh, I'm sorry. There's a Dragon Scale Hubbard. Ha! So he's going to get 1 damage through. And, of course, he rolled 2 less because of this Flame -2. Dragon Scale Hubbard, of course, just countering literally everything the Flaming Hellion is. And we see the curse go down from Drefan onto this Hellion, and 1 on the Ladylock as well, Big L. He reveals a Ghoul Rot. He really wants to take out this Hellion. He does not like it. You know, this is an interesting choice. It means his supply of life is going to run out faster. But that means that he just needs to deal a little bit of damage, and this thing is dead next round. And the burn does get removed from the Vampirus. I'm sure that's No longer sweating about that. Big L saying, seriously, you know, sometimes burns just don't work, and that's fine if they don't, but, you know, you can't rely on burns to win, unfortunately. That being said, I feel for you, Big L. And Drefan reveals another Gorot on Big L's Mage. Ouch, that is going to put him up to 22 out of 33. Drefan has 8 mana only this round, so this is going to be kind of a round of him, like, I think, kind of feeling the edges. Feeling the edges, kind of going, I'm not sure when I want to engage, but probably not this round. I'm guessing this Vampirus is going to try to kill this Hellion. And Drafan's going to set something up to deal the damage. Or we could be surprised and just see, you know, a Fireball go down. Because, you know, if he gets, you know, 7 dice. I mean, if he gets 7 damage through, then I guess Gorot has a chance of killing him if he casts 2 spells. Sharky from the chat. You can rely on burns with a Drawback's Touch. You know, Shark, I know you're a big fan of Drumlick's Touch. I am personally not the biggest fan, but I see your point. Interestingly enough, in this match, a Drumlick's Touch may not be as good, and that's because your opponent can literally just move the burns away. Paulik says, or they just roll zeros every time and cost a lot of mana. That, I think, is the problem with the Drumlick's Touch, is it feels like every time you're paying for the burn, you're like, what is the point of this enchantment? I think I've seen you in games, though, where you have, like, 7 burns on someone, like a mage, and, like, I just look at that and be like, this is ridiculous, man. Of course, I would pay 2 mana for a burn anytime. Like, that is a good choice. But we only have to pay 1 with Drumlick's Touch. And Drefan's taking his time planning here. I really loved the walking through the fire with a Flaming Hellion. I think this is a really good tactic. I really think if we just saw more Mark for Deaths out of Big L, we could have seen just tons more damage come out. And Drefen's going to cast the Leather Boots out. Since he knows he's low on mana, he doesn't want to go for the bursty play. He's just going to go for the survivability. I don't really blame him for doing that. He's also going to enchant this Vampirus with something. Lion Savagery? I could see that. And then looks like Big L is going to do another Wall of Fire. Whoa, dude! All the Wall of Fire is on the table. Just sort of lock him in place there. I'm not sure how much Drefan's going to be concerned about walking through one of these guys next round, because he's going to have all this mana to do something with it. But Drefan's saying it's getting hot in here. Yeah, this is like literally like just like a kettle sitting on top of a oven. It looks like the Vampirus is going to take its action. He's going to move to the right one. And probably just murder this Flaming Hellion. Are we going to see the Lion Savagery get revealed? Interestingly enough, no, we're not. We're only going to be able to heal 1 on the Vampirus, because there's only 2 damage remaining on this Hellion because of that Gator toughness. So, all these guys. So this kind of leaves an awkward predicament for both of them. You know, does Drefan sort of move out of the wall and get in some weird position, or does he just kind of build up here? This is, you know, 28 mana, just like invested in these walls. So, If he could just walk right through it, that may be scary. And Biggl's going to guard again in the zone. This makes me really believe this is another Hellfire trap. And it looks like the regrowth is going to get revealed in the Vampirus. I love that move. You know, Vampirus I treat a lot like a Steel Claw Grizzly, which you kind of just give it Bear Strength, you just give it Regrowth, and maybe a Gator Toughness, and suddenly it's just never dies. And, you know, the Bear tends to do more damage, but the Vampirus just survives longer. Sharky from the stands. Oh, we're talking about Dromix Touch here. We'll move on to the next phase, so we'll just kind of talk about stuff. Sharky says he'd be amazed how often that doesn't happen. He's talking about Dromix Touch. Paying for it to stay is worth it in hindsight for 95% of the times. Yeah, I mean, statistically, as I said, 2/3 chance you're going to deal damage. So, you know, for 1/3, if you can just recover it to deal that extra damage, I would pay 1 mana, plus the Dromix Touch, plus the ability you get from Smoldering Curses, just to keep dealing that direct damage. And Sharky thinks he should just... Sharky thinks he should just walk through and do a Fireball. I absolutely agree. At 25, you just need to deal some sort of damage, and you'll probably win. Drefan's at 11 mana now. I would actually like to see him walk forward, do a Flame Blast, and then do a Jetstream, and then that Jetstream push him back through the Wall of Fire, and that's how he kills him. I think that would be the most honorable way for an Adrammelech Warlock to kill an Adrammelech Warlock. Looks like there's quite a bit of debate actually going on. Powlick, I can see the touch always pays in the long run. Of course, there aren't 4 mana Geyser getting rid of like 5 burns. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't run Geyser, a lot of people do Surging Wave, but that's still a valid point. Even in the case of Geyser, you can stack them pretty high again quickly with Fire Weaving. It's pretty rare for people to run multiple Geysers. I've actually had people Surging Wave themselves. Yeah, I mean, the nice part is Surging Wave gets minus to its effect and its damage for how many burns you get, so yeah, it's worth it. Okay, so he's going to equip the Veteran's Belt. So he's going to walk through this Wall of Fire. He's going to take 3 dice, and he knows he's going to block a minimum of 2 because those crits get converted. And a 7-up burn is just a risk, but, you know, ironically, he could actually just walk up and then just transfer the burn and Fire Weaving to the other Dromlick, which is fun. Yeah, I definitely think the best way to kill this guy, of course, I don't think Drefan has a Jetstream because nobody runs that, but the Force Push. Of course, he only has 8 mana, so he could do a Force Push. We're probably going to see the Vampirus just fly over this wall and, you know, deal a ton of damage. We still don't know what this other enchantment is. I'm guessing it's another Nullify. And he is going to walk through the Wall of Fire. And here it comes! 3 dice. He's going to roll 3 crits. Thank God he has that Veterans, but I'm sure he's really relieved on that. He's only going to take 1 damage, and he does get a burn, barely triggering that. And is this going to be a Hellfire Trap? It is a Hellfire Trap! You know, the funny thing is, 3 armor and Vet's Belt, especially with the Dragon Skill, it kind of makes these feel like they're just not gonna do a lot of damage. But 4 dice, or I'm sorry, 2 dice, and a 7-up burn. Let's see how this does. And it looks like it's going to deal 1 damage and a burn. All right, that's crazy. And you know, because it's free, Drefan should just transfer a burn over. Because why not? I wonder if he wants him to reroll. Yeah, he rolled 4. Oh yeah, it's not automatic, so that makes sense. And of course he gets 0 and no burn then. I would definitely transfer this burn over. Yeah, I just said that and I don't know what I was doing. I was just watching this like, oh, 4 dies, of course. Is he going to transfer that burn over? He does still have an action to take because it doesn't take a full action to walk through, so are we going to see just a... We're going to see a fire attack? Some sort of attack spell? No! He's going to take his Burning Fist and just shove it into the face of the other mage. I mean, it deals 2 damage and a burn. That's pretty good. I still think you should transfer a burn over. And it looks like he's going to burn him back in the face, dealing nothing. Rolling a 6, but he needs a 7 to burn now because of that Dragon Scale. And he doesn't transfer the burn! A little unfortunate, but, you know, Drefan's, he's told me that Adrenaline isn't his best mage. It's pretty easy to forget. And Bigl sitting at 27 damage. That's a 1-hit kill from this Vampirus. Yeah, this is the right choice to walk away. You might as well not die this round. Of course, Drefan, it's going to be his initiative next round, so 1 fireball could just end this. And Drefan's going to get that opportunity. This Battleforge now, it's done its job. It's casted all the equipment I think he's going to need. And it can't even target anymore, so... Oh well. Nope. The Drone Warlock moves back and then moves back. Does not want to do that. He's just done. Adds a guard. Is this going to be a cheetah speed? That would probably end the game right now, but, you know, who runs cheetah speed? Oh. A Drone Warlock uses Quick Cast. Brings him down here. And this Vampirus is going to be happy to be able to recover at least 3 or 2 life. Maybe 3. So during upkeep he's going to take 2. So this is like he has 29. So all he has to deal is 4 damage. And assuming Bigl doesn't have anything with that 11 mana to heal herself, which will take another damage from because of Mage Bane, this game would be over. Of course, the Vampirus just walks in and just fangs. 9 damage, heals 3, Warlock's done. That was a fantastic game. Awesome game between two Adrenaline Warlocks. I really hope you guys enjoyed that game. I know I did. If you guys like this game, please feel free to check out the other ADMW tourney matches. It's all under one playlist under the Arcane Duels YouTube. Also, if you like us, please subscribe to us. We're always doing new stuff, so check us out. Thanks for watching the game. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm Coach Shade, and have a good evening. And play more Mage Wars.